Hi there, friends. Welcome back to another video on paying it forward. On my YouTube channel, I sometimes get quite a lot of questions to some of the videos, and so I'm going to do a couple of short videos like this one where I'll basically just go through and answer a specific question. So let's jump straight into the question and work on this together. All right, so this is the question that I got, is that, I have a requirement related to the comments field. We have stakeholders who use comments field for clarifications or further actions by tagging specific individuals. I'm trying to build a visual that will show me who has the next action items based on tagging. Do you know how we could extract tag names or IDs from the comments field? So this was a fairly quick one to look into, and I thought we can go through it together. And what we're going to start with is basically updating a work item with a with a specific comment, and then we'll basically go through and see it come out together. So I'm just going to bring over an Azure DevOps that I've got from before. Let's say this is my Azure DevOps here, and this is a place where we've been working to develop a system. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag myself. You can see there, I've just tagged myself. That's basically the comment that I've added to the work item. So we can just zoom in and basically see that this is the latest comment that we have, and that there's basically the name of the person there is who we want to have take the action ultimately. Now let's use that and open up Power BI. What we're going to focus on in this particular example is we're just going to, run the actual function. We've already covered in other videos how to retrieve the work items to then be able to get the comments fields. So I'm just going to open Power Query. And I'm going to do a new source, and we're going to do a blank query. And then I'm going to go into the advanced editor. As you'll see in the comments, I shared in a previous video how to get the comments from a work item dynamically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the latest comment, which I'm going to copy here, and I'm going to bring this back into the query editor. And then all I'm going to do is come back to my Azure DevOps. I'm going to take the organization and the project name, and I'm just going to drop them in there like that. And in this case, I'm just taking the first comment. So I'm not taking a full list because this is just an example of how you can do this. And then I need work item 492. So we're just going to invoke the function and basically see what we get back. So if I invoke it, you'll see I basically get back this little example here of the source of what I get back. And then I could basically transform this if it was in a table. But at the moment, it's just raw text, which you then add to a table. But we can go one step further and let's, transform this so that I'm just going to isolate the name to see who has an action to take. So what I'm quickly going to do is just get data as we did before and just get the work items from this one. So I'm just going to take the table again. So you will have seen this in another one of my videos, is that we do this part. So I'm just going to pull all the information through. I'm going to quickly log on. Okay, and having logged on, I'm just going to pull down the work items here. I'm just going to try and keep them all here, basically, all the fields. So what I'm going to do is add that, add the function based on as we've done before in the previous video. So we're going to invoke custom function. We're going to do query 1, and we're going to use the column of the work item ID. As basically as the way of looking it up. And let's just call this something more useful. So latest comment. All right, so what we get back is basically all the latest comments against all these work items. And you can see it says no comments when there isn't a comment. I'm just going to move this over a little bit so we can see it a bit more easily over here. And within here, there are some that, let's say if we just do a quick filter, we can basically do a text filter and say, does it contain an ad? So we can just have a look to see how many of them actually have potentially a name within them. All right, so we've got basically 20 rows that have ats within them. So we can just pick an example here. So let's just pick this one. So we can see we've got Travis in here as well. That's just showing an example. What I now want to do is, let's say we want to add an additional column, but in that column we want to actually, pass out the name. So we just want to say this person is responsible for the action. All right, so how can we go about doing it in terms of, actually taking out the name? So if you have a look in the structure here, we have something that's unique. So we have an @ that begins before the name, and then after the name we basically have the open arrow /A, which of course is HTML, and so what we basically want to do is to say start extracting anything that starts with an @ and then stop when it gets to there. What we're going to do is we're going to add a custom column, and we're going to use the following formula. So it's text between delimiters. So actually, like, basically wherever do we start and where do we finish? And then what we're going to do is pick I'm just going to delete it so you can actually see it. So we'll open brackets and then take the actual field that we want to use. So latest comment. And then we're going to say between an @ and between an A. So that we're basically cutting the text between those so that you can then, isolate the action required by the said person. We can then see now that we've basically got the action required by the person that needs to take the action in its own field. It's not foolproof in the sense that if you just put like someone's name with an @ then of course it's not going to get the full name. So you can see one example here where it just returns Peter, and that's because there's not a complete @ it's just using like an @ and the name, or someone may have deleted a part of the name. But if people are consistently tagging names using the tagging system that you have within the system of Azure DevOps, then this would be the method to be able to do that. So let's just do a quick recap of the video as we close out here. So what did we basically focus on? So what we were looking to achieve is that when we have a work item where we have a comment where you would tag yourself or someone in the organization would be tagged, we took the data by using the getLatestComment query inside of Power Query, and then we enriched that to basically return back the latest comment, and we identified that there's an @ and an A that come before and after the name. And so once you pull all of that information in, you're then able to basically see and actually extract or remove the text to identify and isolate the name that needs to take the action. I hope you found this video useful. It was a bit shorter than usual. As always, don't forget to pay it forward in terms of the knowledge that you've learned here today. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And as always, leave comments down below if you have another idea that you want me to demonstrate how to do.